Hey there, everyone. Ever feel like you're at a crossroads with a map in hand, but just no idea which path to take?
Oh, yeah.
Like you've got this incredible potential inside, but it's just waiting to be unleashed.
For sure.
Well, get ready, because in this deep dive, we are going to explore how to ditch the ordinary and really embrace the extraordinary,
Right.
turning those unique qualities into your own personal compass.
I like it.
Forget blending in. We're going to help you stand out.
It is funny, isn't it? We spend so much time trying to fit in and comparing ourselves to others that we completely forget what makes us special.
Yeah.
Like we're all trying to squeeze into the same mold when we were meant to be a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes.
I love that. That's such a great analogy. And it reminds me of Robert Frost's poem, The Road Less Traveled. Choosing individuality and really embracing what makes you can be so daunting.
Yeah.
It's like stepping off of a well-worn path into uncharted territory.
Right.
But can you imagine the adventures you might have and the discoveries you could make?
That's where the real magic happens.
Right.
It's like choosing between a mass-produced trinket and a handcrafted masterpiece.
Yeah.
The trinket might be safe and familiar, but the masterpiece holds a story, a soul.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind, just like you.
Okay, I'm so inspired right now. But let's be real, stepping into that unknown can be scary. It's this tug of war between the comfort of just blending in and then the excitement of letting your true self shine.
Yeah.
How do we find the courage to just grab onto that rope and really embrace our individuality?
Well, I think first we need to understand why we're so hesitant to stand out in the first place. Part of it is hardwired into us.
Yeah.
It's this primal need to belong. We're social creatures, and fitting in with the tribe used to be essential for survival.
Right.
But in today's world, conforming can actually hold us back from reaching our full potential.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. The most impactful people in history, the innovators, the artists, the change makers, they were all the ones who dared to be different.
Yeah, you're so right. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole,
Exactly.
And you might get it to fit, but it's never going to be smooth or comfortable.
Right.
And honestly, who wants to live a life of almost fitting when you could be out there rocking your own unique shape?
Yeah, exactly.
But let's talk about that journey of self-discovery. I think a lot of people get stuck because they think it's about reaching some perfect destination, like suddenly becoming this flawless finished product.
Ah, yes, the myth of perfection.
Yeah.
It's a trap that so many of us fall into. We think that in order to be worthy or to be successful or to even be happy, we need to be perfect.
Right.
But here's the secret. Growth and fulfillment actually come from the imperfections, the stumbles, the experiments that don't quite work out.
Yeah.
Think of it like learning to ride a bike, Do you remember nailing it on the first try? Or were there a few wobbly moments? Maybe a scraped knee or two?
Oh, totally. I remember crashing right into my neighbor's rose bushes. But you know what? Each tumble taught me something,
Yeah.
It made me adjust and try a different approach until I finally found my balance.
Exactly. And those rosebush moments, those are essential parts of the journey.
Right.
As the saying goes, imperfect is how everything valuable begins.
I love that.
That first wobbly attempt is where the magic starts, where you begin to understand what works for you, what doesn't, and how to keep moving forward.
Okay, so we've got the green light to embrace our imperfections and to celebrate the journey, not just the destination.
Yes.
But what about those of us who are just sitting at the starting line, engine revving, but waiting for someone to say, go?
Right.
Waiting for permission to chase their dreams.
Here's a truth bomb for you. You already have permission. You don't need anyone else to validate your dreams, your passions, your desires. You are in the driver's seat. It's time to stop waiting for the light to turn green and give yourself the green light. The open road is calling.
I love that. It's like we're all standing at the edge of a diving board, hesitant to take the plunge. But here's the thing. The longer we stand there, the scarier it gets.
It does.
The real thrill, the real growth happens when we take that leap of faith and just dive in.
And think about this. The journey itself often reveals the answers we're seeking. It's like exploring a new city, You can pore over maps and guidebooks, but you won't truly know the city until you walk its streets, get lost in its alleyways, and discover those hidden gems. It's in the experience, in the exploration that we find our way.
That's such a great point. It's like we're all given a unique map with blank spaces just waiting to be filled in.
Right.
And it's up to us to go out there and explore, to turn those empty spaces into a vibrant landscape of experiences.
And just as every city has its own distinct character, so do we.
Yeah.
We each have a unique set of talents, experiences, and perspectives to offer the world. The real adventure lies in discovering what those are and figuring out how to use them to leave our mark on the world.
So we're talking about ditching the comparison game and embracing our individuality and taking action. What if you're feeling lost?
Yeah.
Like you're wandering through that city without a map, no sense of direction. How do we even begin to figure out where we fit in? What our unique contribution might be?
You know that feeling of being lost and not knowing our place? It often stems from the messages we've internalized over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Those voices in our heads that whisper, you're not good enough, or you'll never achieve that, or who are you to even try, you know? They can be like invisible walls boxing us in and preventing us from even seeing the possibilities, let alone pursuing them.
It's like we're carrying around this backpack full of rocks.
Yeah.
And each one represents like a doubt or a fear or a limiting belief.
Exactly.
No wonder we feel weighed down and stuck. But if those beliefs aren't even true,
Right.
if they're just echoes of past experiences or someone else's opinions,
Right.
how do we start to like shed those rocks and lighten our load?
Well, the first step is awareness. We need to start paying attention to those voices and recognizing them for what they are. Simply thoughts, not facts. Think of it like decluttering a closet, you know?
Yeah.
You pull everything out, examine each item, and decide what's truly valuable and what's just taking up space. So do these beliefs serve you? Do they align with the person you want to be, the life you want to create?
Okay, I'm picturing myself tossing those "you're not good enough" rocks right into the donation bin. But what about those like deeply ingrained beliefs?
Right.
The ones that feel like they're just woven into our DNA. How do we challenge those?
That's where things get really interesting. We need to start gathering evidence that contradicts those limiting beliefs. Think of it like building a case file.
Okay.
For every "you're not creative enough" thought,
Yeah.
find a moment in your past where you did express creativity, even in a small way.
Right.
Maybe it was that drawing you did as a child, or that time you came up with a clever solution at work, or even just the way you arranged flowers from your garden. Each piece of evidence weakens the hold those limiting beliefs have over you.
So it's about reclaiming those moments, like those
Yeah.
glimmers of our true selves,
Exactly.
and using them to build a new narrative.
Yes.
One that's based on our own experiences and aspirations, not on fear or self-doubt.
Exactly. It's like replacing those heavy rocks with feathers, allowing ourselves to rise above those limitations and soar to new heights.
And speaking of soaring, I think this ties into something we touched on earlier, embracing vulnerability. We tend to see vulnerability as a weakness, something to be hidden away.
Right.
But what if it's actually the key to unlocking our true strength, our authenticity?
That's a brilliant observation. It is fascinating how we're conditioned to believe that showing our imperfections, our doubts, our fears, is a sign of weakness.
Right.
But in reality, it takes incredible courage to step outside of that armor, to let people see the real, messy, perfectly imperfect human beneath the surface.
It's like we're all walking around with these invisible shields trying to protect ourselves from getting hurt.
Yeah.
But in the process, we're also blocking out connection, intimacy, and genuine human experience.
Think about it. When someone shares a personal story, a struggle they've faced, a fear they've overcome, doesn't it make you feel closer to them?
Yeah.
Don't you feel a sense of empathy and understanding?
Oh, totally.
Even a sense of shared humanity?
Absolutely. It's like those moments create a bridge between us, reminding us that we're not alone in our struggles.
Yes.
In our triumphs and everything in between.
And that's the power of vulnerability, It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, to build trust, to foster intimacy. It's the foundation of authentic relationships, both with ourselves and with the world around us.
So how do we start cultivating more vulnerability in our lives?
Yeah.
It can feel so scary to let go of that need to appear strong and in control all the time.
It starts with small steps. Maybe it's sharing a fear with a trusted friend, admitting that you don't have all the answers, or asking for help when you need it. It's about being honest with yourself and others about your struggles, your doubts, and your imperfections. And remember, true strength lies not in hiding our vulnerabilities, but in embracing them.
It's like we're finally giving ourselves permission to breathe, to let go of that constant tension of trying to be someone we're not.
Right.
And in that space of authenticity, of acceptance.
Yeah.
I think that's where true growth begins.
You hit the nail on the head. It's in those moments of vulnerability that we create space for transformation.
Yeah.
It's like we're diving deep into the ocean, facing the unknown, the darkness, the pressure. But it's in those depths that the most incredible treasures lie hidden.
And sometimes we need to lose ourselves in those depths to surrender to the unknown,
Yeah.
to truly find ourselves.
That's beautifully said. It's in those moments of challenge, of being stripped bare, that we're forced to confront our deepest fears, our limiting beliefs, and ultimately our true potential. It's like the caterpillar entering the cocoon, undergoing a complete metamorphosis before emerging as the magnificent butterfly.
Okay. I'm feeling a metaphor overload, but I love it. So we're talking about embracing vulnerability and shedding those limiting beliefs, diving deep into those challenging experiences that ultimately shape who we are.
Yeah.
But how do we actually apply this to our daily lives? How do we shift our perspective to see those challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth?
It all starts with a simple yet profound question. How do we choose to see the world? Are we viewing each day as an allegiance to the present moment or an invitation to chase down tomorrow? Are we allowing ourselves to experience the richness of each day, or are we constantly looking ahead, missing out on the beauty that's right in front of us?
It reminds me of that line from The Office. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and striving for the next achievement that we forget to appreciate the small joys, the simple pleasures that make up our lives.
And it's those small joys, those everyday moments of beauty and connection that truly nourish our souls. It's like we're so focused on climbing the mountain that we forget to enjoy the view along the way.
So how do we cultivate this awareness of the present moment?
Yeah.
This ability to appreciate the journey, not just the destination.
Right.
What are some practical things we can do to shift our perspective?
It's so easy to get caught up in that whirlwind of do more, be more, achieve more, that we forget to just be.
Right, exactly. It can be so hard to break free from that constant pressure and just enjoy the journey.
You've hit on something really crucial there. We live in a culture that glorifies busyness, you know? Like, our worth is measured by how much we produce or how many items are on our to-do list.
Right.
But what if true success, true fulfillment lies in actually doing less?
Doing less.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would consider that pretty radical. Maybe even lazy.
Yeah.
But okay, you've got my attention. How can doing less actually help us unlock our potential?
Imagine you're holding a glass of water.
Okay.
If you keep adding more and more water, it's going to eventually overflow, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with our lives. If we keep piling on commitments and tasks and expectations, eventually we reach that point of overwhelm.
Right.
We lose sight of what truly matters, and our energy just becomes scattered and diluted.
So it's about recognizing our limits, understanding that we can't do it all, and making conscious choices about where we direct our energy.
Precisely. It's about becoming intentional with our time and energy. It's about saying no to the things that drain us,
Yeah.
you know, that pull us away from our purpose, and saying yes to the things that nourish our souls, that align with our values, and that bring us joy.
That could be tough though, right? Especially when we're surrounded by messages that tell us we need to be constantly busy,
Yes.
constantly striving, constantly proving ourselves. How do we even filter out that noise and start listening to our own inner wisdom?
It starts with awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after you engage in certain activities.
Yo.
Spend time with certain people, or even commit to certain obligations. Do you feel energized, inspired, or do you feel drained and depleted? Your body, your emotions, they're constantly giving you feedback.
Right.
It's time to start listening.
It's like tuning into a different radio station, one that's playing your soul's favorite song instead of the static of everyone else's expectations.
Beautifully put. And once you start tuning into that frequency,
Yeah.
you'll begin to notice that some things that used to feel important no longer resonate with you. You might even find yourself letting go of commitments or relationships or even beliefs that no longer serve you.
That can be a bit scary though, can't it? Letting go, saying no, and disappointing others. How do we find the courage to do that?
It's about recognizing that your time and your energy are precious resources. You deserve to invest them in the things that truly matter to you, not in what others expect of you or what you think you should be doing.
So it's not about being selfish, it's about self-care.
Yeah,
It's about honoring our own needs and desires so we can really show up as our best selves for the world.
Exactly. And here's a secret. When you start prioritizing your own well-being and start living in alignment with your values and passions, you actually become more capable of giving to others,
Wow.
of making a positive impact in the world.
It's like that oxygen mask analogy they give you on airplanes.
Right.
You have to put on your own mask first before you can help anyone else.
I love that. And remember, it's not about becoming a hermit and shutting yourself off from the world. It's about creating a life that feels balanced, sustainable, and authentic.
Yeah.
A life that allows you to show up fully, both for yourself and for others.
So we've talked about embracing our uniqueness and shedding those limiting beliefs and diving deep into vulnerability and even the power of doing less. As we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways you want to leave our listener with?
Well, first and foremost, remember that you are a masterpiece in progress. Embrace your imperfections, celebrate your journey, and never stop exploring the incredible landscape of your own being.
Give yourself permission to start, even if you don't have all the answers. Trust your intuition, follow your curiosity, and remember that every step, even the missteps, are leading you towards your true potential.
And don't be afraid to let go of the things that no longer serve you.
Yeah.
That might mean relationships, beliefs, habits, or even entire chapters of your life. Release what weighs you down and create space for new possibilities to emerge.
Embrace vulnerability as a source of strength and connection. Share your story, your struggles, your triumphs. You might be surprised by the depth of human connection, waiting to be discovered on the other side of fear.
Remember that your time and energy are precious.
Yeah.
Choose to invest them in the things that light you up, that align with your values, that make your heart sing.
And finally, believe in yourself. Believe in your capacity for growth, your ability to overcome challenges, your power to create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling.
You are capable of amazing things. Don't let anyone, including yourself, tell you otherwise.
This has been such an incredible journey, and I really hope you're feeling inspired to step into your own unique brilliance. Remember, it's not about reaching some distant destination.
Right.
It's about embracing the journey, the stumbles, the triumphs, and all the messy, beautiful moments in between.
And as you embark on this adventure, remember that you're not alone. We're all in this together, cheering each other on as we navigate the uncharted territories of our own hearts and minds.
So go out there and be brilliantly you. And hey, if you trip along the way, just remember, it's all part of the dance.